Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we're going to do something a little bit interesting. I'm going to share some recent thrift shop and flea market finds as far as some dinosaur figures that I've acquired fairly recently at a few different areas. Again, there's nothing amazing in this video as far as like super expensive rare figures that I found for really cheap. It's just some pretty cool stuff that I stumbled upon, and you guys seem to really enjoy these kind of videos as far as like unboxings and just kind of showing the stuff that I get and find in different places. So the very first one here, this lot that I have here, actually somebody had offered to me for $5. So it was $5 for everything. And some of the figures are really ugly, but I thought, what the heck, I might as well purchase them anyway, because for $5, how can you go wrong? And the very first one is actually quite large. You could probably tell already it is a Velociraptor, and I'm sure by now, if you have been to Walmart at all within the past few years, you've probably seen this Velociraptor at Walmart. You can see it's a very Jurassic Park inspired Velociraptor, and also kind of a Velociraptor blue sort of inspired figure, because you can see that there's like this grayish coloration, and then there's like a blue that sort of runs down, almost similar to Velociraptor blue, so I'm pretty sure that's where they got the inspiration for the figure and its paint scheme. But the figure itself isn't so great, but it's also not terrible. It's actually pretty decent, I guess, and it's something that I've actually wanted to repaint for a while, because I feel like with a decent paint application it could look pretty cool. So I had, again, no problem picking this one up in the lot, because it was just kind of an extra that was there, and something that I've been considering picking up anyway for a little while to repaint. So at some point I'll probably get around to repainting this, but it's a pretty cool figure. And then there was also another very large figure. Now this one is just really goofy looking. This is a Stegosaurus, and it's very strange looking overall. Not exactly an appealing looking figure. I don't know much about it. I don't know its origins, the company that makes it, or anything like that. But what I can tell you is that it's not a very good figure. It's certainly not the worst Stegosaurus I've ever seen, just not something that I was really interested in. But again, coming with the deal of $5 for all of the figures, which there's not a ton, but there's a few, there's a couple here. And I thought it was something interesting to show you guys regardless. And then there was also this very interesting Brachiosaurus, and by interesting I mean goofy looking. There was also a lizard in there, some sort of a strange, very cheap dollar store style lizard, and then also another dollar store figure with a very old school looking chubby Stegosaurus. So this might be the lot of ugly Stegosaurus figures, but again, a few random little extras that were included right there. And then there was also this guy. Now, if you are around my age, you will have certainly played with this figure as a child, as it's probably one of the most famous and at the same time most vintage Tyrannosaurus figures that you'll probably ever find. It's a really nice looking figure though, honestly. I have quite a few of them, but as far as like the sculpting and detailing aspect of this Rex, it's not bad. It's really nicely done for its time, and I've always wanted to repaint one because I felt like it had that really nice vintage appearance to it, aside from that kind of lipstick-like look that it has up there on the face. I've always been a big fan of the overall appearance of this Rex, and again, something that I've wanted to repaint. And although I do have a few already, I've never actually done that. But since this one was, again, just kind of included with that lot of $5 figures, I thought I might as well repaint this guy at some point very soon. I'm actually really inclined to get this one on the repainting table in the immediate future, because it's something I would really like to see repainted. So we'll have to do that at some point. Again, if you happen to have one of these, you're probably well aware of the very appealing appearance to it, and the fact that it's a really nicely sculpted figure for the most part for its time for being a cheap dinosaur figure. So we'll have to see what it looks like with a nice realistic paint scheme. And the figure that was actually included in the lot that I really wanted, which is something I already have, but you can see it is the Mattel Triceratops, the Roarivore, and it's something that I just kind of wanted to buy to repaint, because the horns there, you can see on the horns, they're a little bit chipped as far as the paint and everything goes. And on top of that, I also, of course, have the figure prior to this. So it's not something that I needed to fill a hole in my collection. It's just something that, you know, anytime I can get a chance to buy a Mattel Jurassic World figure for cheap, and that's $5 for the Roarivore, which normally retails at $15, plus all of those other figures there included, it was definitely something that I couldn't pass up, and again, another figure that I intend on repainting. Anytime I can get figures to repaint, that as well is something I'm always very intrigued in, because I do enjoy repainting figures, giving them different looks and everything, and the Mattel figures are some of the best out there as far as really nice figures to repaint. And then these 3 final figures I recently scored at a thrift shop. The others I had found at a flea market. These ones were from a thrift shop. This one, which we could probably tell is a hand puppet of the Iguanodon from Disney's Dinosaur. And it's a really beautifully sculpted figure. If you look at the actual skin texture, the skin detail and everything on this figure, that thing is gorgeous looking. It's something that if the teeth weren't so ugly, I would 100% be interested in repainting. I may still do it just because I think I have another one of these already, but I'll have to check and see which one is in worse shape and repaint the one that's a little bit in worse shape. But this one does look really nice sculpt-wise. It is gorgeous looking for sure. But again, the teeth are a little bit on the ugly side. You can see that there's not really much detail to the teeth, and that is definitely something that I think takes the appeal factor down quite a bit as far as the overall appearance to the sculpting and detailing on the Iguanodon. It's still a really cool puppet and something that, again, for $1, I was 100% going to purchase. And then for $1.99 at the thrift shop, I scored myself a beautiful Maiasaura from the Safari Ltd. Carnegie collection. Now, I do already have this figure. I think I might have 2 of them. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like the ones that I have are a different paint scheme than the one that I have here now. So I'm going to have to pull the others out and get a look at them to see if they are in fact a different paint scheme. I'm pretty sure they are. So if that's the case, then I have an alternate version of this figure, and that is really exciting because I love to collect the alternate variants of the different figures out there. I like having alternate variations of figures that I already have. This one has a little bit of paint scuffs and stuff on it, so it's not in perfect shape, unfortunately, like you can see right there as well. And there's also some up here on the head. But, I mean, for $1.99, I can't complain when you can get something as awesome as this, an old school vintage Carnegie figure for $2. That is a steal, my friends. And then the final figure, probably hated by many, but for $1.99 also, I couldn't say no, even if I have quite a few of them already. This is not going to stand very well. Let's see if I can get him to stand a little better. There we go. Sort of. Nope. All right. Well, something's going to happen there. Oh, there we go. Now it's standing. This is the Hasbro Jurassic World Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's not very good, of course. It's a pretty ugly Rex as far as a JP-style Rex goes, but it does hold its place in Jurassic Park history, and it's actually in really, really good shape. Like, there is very few areas on this that I could even see a remote paint scuff, so it's nice to see one in decent shape, even if it is a pretty ugly figure regardless. And I have a couple of these already, but again, for $1.99, honestly, how could you say no to any type of a figure like this, especially something from the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World franchise as far as the toy line goes? It's kind of impossible to say no to a figure like that for $2 because you're really not wasting much money. But again, these have been the figures that I found recently at flea markets and a thrift shop, so some pretty cool stuff. I thought you guys might be interested, so I figured I'd make a quick video and show you guys some of my cool deals that I found lately. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.